Hi, everyone. Welcome to Heart Center Tarot. As always, my name is Marina, and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. And help me welcome David from Tarot by the Bay and Gary of Twin Tarot. Hello, it's
Hi.
Tuesday.
He's doing his Isaac up from Love Boat. I'll just give you the Doc smile.
Yes.
Or is that more Beaker from the Muppet Show?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And just quickly to get the business end of things out of the way, I do have both David and Gary's channels listed in the description of the video. So please make sure that you go over there and do the like, share, and subscribe on their channels. Leave a comment on any of their videos. And then do the same thing for me.
Yeah. Yeah, leave a nice comment from Marina. Leave the nasty one from Gary.
So yeah, thank you guys for being here. Don't forget, I wanted to, and I keep trying to remember to say this and I keep forgetting it. Okay, if you're interested in booking a personal reading with me, send me an email, heartcentertarot@outlook.com, or go to my website. Look, marinasheartcentertarot.com. You're going to find out about the different readings. You're going to find out about classes, all that kind of good stuff. So by all means, do that. If you've been thinking about it, it's well worth it to get a reading. And you can just go on the website and check out the lovely things people have said about me. Because, I do every once in a while. just because. Special shout out to Sherry, Voices from the Swamp. She is celebrating a birthday today. So
It's just at the anniversary of her 29th birthday?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So I hope that that she has had a fabulous day and enjoyed every second of it. So yeah, let's get started. Let's get this show on the road. The bromance between Elon and Dawn is over. It is so over. And if you wondered why that was, apparently Elon came out today and called.
It's Pride.
Yeah.
It's Pride Month.
And he called Trump's big, beautiful bill a disgusting abomination and said that, shame on those who voted for it. Well, considering they were best buds and, they shared the same mind and all that, I thought it was hilarious that he waited until after he left the White House in order to come out with this comment. It would have been, maybe helpful if he had said something beforehand, but he didn't.
Yeah, the problem is, on one hand, a lot of us would be like, "Yay, we agree," but the problem is, he's saying it under the context if it didn't cut enough, we didn't inflict enough harm.
Well,
it's frightening because Rand Paul's the same way, right?
Yes,
these guys are protesting this big, beautiful budget. But that's because they want it to be more nasty than it already is. So we have to be very careful about what we're rooting for.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I think he's, you're a day late and $1 short. And he seems to have some of the other comments that he made was that, yeah, it's going to be adding trillions and trillions of dollars to the deficit, and that's not what he wants.
You know what? It's funny you had brought that. I was going to say I was going to give a definition before you said it, but it's a perfect segue for it. And Belle of the Ranch had talked about this. Gary will certainly appreciate it because it's finance speak, and it just warms the cockles of his heart.
Indeed.
You've got deficits and you have debt. Deficit is the amount that you're losing on a monthly or yearly basis. It's a rate. So this big, beautiful budget bill actually adds to the deficit. It does not take, it takes in less money than it spends. The debt is like the swimming pool that you're pouring that bucket of water into and accumulating the water. So the debt is the swimming pool. It's all the deficits that we've had where we haven't had a profit. And so that debt is building up. And this big, beautiful bill also adds trillions to the debt too. It'll take over a 10-year period. There'll be deficit spending in the low trillions, and it'll add several $1 trillion in debt to the swimming pool. So it's horrible both ways. It would be mildly better, and I do mean that with that high pitch at the end. If they didn't do the tax cuts, it would still be horrific, but they might actually not run a deficit if they did that.
Yeah.
Might. Because I don't know how big our deficit spending is on a yearly basis with the budget. But, if they're talking about cutting $1 trillion or $1.5 trillion over 10 years in spending, but they're going to give $4 trillion in tax breaks, which is a negative $2.5 trillion addition to the debt.
Yeah.
Why? At least if you got rid of that $4 trillion, you would be taking away $1.5 trillion that you otherwise would have contributed. I just don't know if it would balance the budget or not.
Yeah.
And that's really what the U.S. needs. The U.S. needs a balanced budget amendment, big time.
Yeah.
I can get on that.
Yeah. The fact that the people who are deciding it right now are old enough that when it comes time to pay the piper, chances are very good most of them are going to be dead. So what are their kids?
Their grandkids will pay for it.
Oh,
and they are. And then they call them a bunch of whiners.
Uh-huh. Yes, and blame everything on the Democrats.
Yeah, we wrote that too.
Yeah.
So, Marina, just to kind of do the final body slam on your comment, there was a DOGE guy that got released about a week or so ago. His name was Sahil Lavingia, and I might be butchering his last name a bit. But basically said, he got fired because he basically said, the government's actually running pretty efficiently. There weren't a lot of easy wins and low-hanging fruit to be found. And that basically the DOGE guys are just like middle managers. They have no real authority. That all of these reductions are coming from the directors and deputy directors of these departments, and they're just throwing DOGE under the bus for all of this. So it struck me as interesting because I was going to talk to Dave about future readings on this. One, you're seeing, like you said, the relationship between Musk and Trump is starting to really show its fractures and fissures.
Yes.
But it's also the disillusionment and the fracturing of the Republican Party around this. It hasn't broken up yet, but you're seeing it all over the place that they're so dead set on my way or the highway that they're not going to be able to they're not going to be able to compromise anything.
Exactly. And even Mike Johnson, when he was approached about Elon's comment, said that he say that my friend Elon is terribly wrong. I just deeply regret he's made this mistake. So
what side of the fence he's in.
Yeah. So I don't think that this is going to have that much of of an effect on the people who want to pursue the bill. But
Mhm.
can we take a look and just see, what are the chances of this actually making it through the Senate as is? There's enough people, including Rand Paul. And when Rand Paul said that, he did not vote for the big beautiful bill, that Trump said his ideas are actually crazy and that the people of Kentucky can't stand him. So when they go low, Trump is going to go lower, right?
Little Rand Paul.
Yes, little Rand Paul. Yeah. So,
So I'm going to start. My foundation is the Page of Pentacles. I think so. The question is, is this budget, big beautiful budget, going to go through as is? I think, like we were talking earlier, there's two different camps. There's some camps that are saying we're not going to vote for it because it doesn't take away enough. We need more money. The other camp is we're not voting for it because it's taking away too much from the people that we should be taking care of. The primary clarifier is the emperor, but Donald wants it.
yes.
Where the sunlight is shining on this, the truth of this is being exposed. Ultimately, Pentacles, things of value or money. So, one camp is going to have to, like I said, I don't think they're compromising. So one camp is going to get their way. And underneath it is the Three of Swords, heartbreak and betrayal, which is, once again, I'm not seeing that as it's going to be going through as is, or it's going to go through with more cuts or fewer cuts. What this is that when it goes through, there are going to be people in the Republican Party who are going to be mad at other people in the Republican Party. And this is going to the fracture and fissuring that I was talking to earlier.
Yes. Yeah.
That's funny. That was another thing that belt. I was driving a lot today. I drove to work. I had an emergency dentist appointment after work, and then drove home. So I got to listen to. I chipped a tooth on my bottom tooth there, so I had a filling put in there.
Wow.
Fortunately, no needles.
Good for you.
Yeah,
just a little surface chip.
Did Lori visit you at work or something? Or?
No, that required needles. She was talking about basically two main factions. You've got the tech bro and you've got the Trumpers. And they're opposites on the opposite spectrum. So like Mike Johnson has now put himself in the Trumpers. Elon Musk has put himself in with the tech bros. And they don't see eye to eye on anything. So with regards to the Senate, what I'm seeing here is that this bill is going to be too difficult to pass in its current situation. And they're worried underneath it all. There's a lot of questionable math and questionable things that are in there. And it's got the Republican senators worried because the cuts to Medicare, Medicaid are too severe, and it's going to really put people in a bad position. And what the Justice card is, this is going to be the elections. They know that if they pass this bill as it stands, they're going to get slaughtered in 2026, assuming that we have elections in 2026. So they're going to probably try and tamp it down a little bit to make it more reasonable, but I don't think they're all on board with that. I really can't shake the idea because, just time and time again has shown this, that waiting for the Republican Party to show sensibility when it comes to Trump is a fool's errand. Just assume they're going to do the shittiest thing possible, and you probably will be right more often than not.
Yeah.
Like a lot more often than not.
Yeah, I think in the past we've kind of looked at this and said, they're not doing anything for the benefit of people.
Yeah.
So
no,
That's
self-serving.
They'll probably get rid of that bit about Trump can't be sued for in court or something like that. Probably say you can't have that in the budget. That's going to be gone. But yeah, I think, and maybe they'll try and get rid of some of the Medicaid or Medicare cuts. But I think most of them are going to be in place there.
Well, there's what I was reading today is there's someone that's in charge of the Senate. I forget what the title is. It's this lady that's doing it now. But basically,
lady,
what's that?
Lady.
She has to go through that budget thing and basically take out stuff, anything that's not fiscally related.
Okay.
So yeah, that Trump
would be about a 10-page document when she's done.
Right?
When all is said and done, yes.
So,
I think
so that Trump not being able to be sued, that's something that's going to be reviewed, and they call it, it's like the duck wash or something they call it. I forget what the exact term was, but Robert Byrd rule. Thank you, Rose Blue. Yeah, they call it the bird bath.
Yes.
Duck wash. That's pretty close. You had a bird and you had cleaning.
Yeah, the mental picture was there. Yeah, so the bird bath goes through and it cleans out all that crap that they try and sneak in these things.
Yes.
Do you ever take the Mazda in for a bird bath and get all the crap out of the door jams and stuff like that?
No, because the Miata's in the garage. It doesn't need that.
Okay, good. Thank God.
There you go. You know what? I start off with the Four of Swords. Some of them are really going to need to seriously consider what it is that they're doing. This is, like, okay, take a breath, right? See what it is that you're supporting. I also get the Fool, the Four of Cups, the Two of Wands. What they've kind of tied themselves to this budget. They've let everyone know that they are supporting it. It's just a matter of how much they're willing to give up. I don't think they're willing to give up too much, right? Each one of them is going to be saying, well, we can give this up because it affects your region more than it does mine. So I don't care what happens in your region. I don't know that it is going to pass through the Senate. I think that there's, the camps are lining up, right? Folks are saying no. Not anyway. All of a sudden, my brain has decided that it wants to shut off.
Sorry.
And I don't know how to turn it back on. So,
oh no, you didn't join the MAGA party, did you?
No, I don't think so.
Distracting cats.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know, to be really honest, and this is kind of why I defaulted to just assume the Republicans do the shittiest thing possible and you won't be disappointed. Yes. I don't see how they could possibly compromise because they are such... The House is so reactionary and the Senate's concerned about things in the future that the two just don't agree on anything.
Exactly.
It's okay when Biden or Obama's in office because they can all agree that they hate Democrats, and so we'll just all agree to reject what they put out there. But they have no ability to actually create because that's not their strength. Their strength is to obstruct.
Yes, exactly. And did you kind of on topic, off topic, did you hear that Trump said that Biden actually died in 2020 and he was replaced by
clones and robots and cyborgs or whatever crazy they're like three different things that
yeah. And his followers are saying, oh, now that you mention it, I can see it. I've watched the two videos and his eyes went from blue to brown.
Of course.
He never blinks. Have you ever noticed that?
Yes, he never blinked. Oh, sorry. Kiwi Nana said, that he was executed. That's what it was. He was executed.
wow, you think like some MAGA person would have known about that and broadcast it to the world. You guys, they would have been all dancing in the streets. Clearly, the Let's Go Brandon people put the kibosh on letting that information out, else they wouldn't sell all their Let's Go Brandon swag. I guess they should be asking for refunds.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And someone had asked in the beginning if we were going to be doing readings on Taco and Taco Bell. And if you haven't heard about it, Carolyn Levitt is being called Taco Bell.
Yep.
And when I read that, oh my goodness, there was a lot of laughter coming out here, because I think it's absolutely perfect. So, how does Trump feel about being called Taco?
Boy, do I have to actually throw cards? Hey, I don't know if they have this in Canada, but in the local Taco Bells, they actually had a taco that was made with nacho cheese powder on the outside. So it's like a nacho cheese Dorito taco shell, which I think is absolutely perfect.
Yes,
as orange. A metaphor here.
Yes.
A taco with the dusting of orange.
Yes.
I think when we have that June 14th protest, I think tacos should be front and center as part of that protest.
Oh, I ordered a taco shirt. It's got a chicken with a long red tie on it.
Oh,
T.A.C.O.
on it.
Nice. I love it. Yeah. No, he's. You know what? He is furious because not only did his team not tell him about it, and of course, who was going to do that? Right? Can you imagine that meeting about, the chief is being called Taco? Who's going to tell him? Oh, not me, man.
Yeah.
Right? So
what do you got, Dave?
I got wow. Okay, so underneath it all is the star card. This is and the Four of Swords is the signifier. This undermines his star power, as it were. He wants this stuff to quiet down. I also think it bothers him on an internal level that he doesn't quite know what to do with. Center underneath it is the Hanged Man. So you've got this card, this with this underneath it. It is like it's causing people to look at Trump differently, and he doesn't, and it takes the luster off his star, and he does not like that. He wants to fight. He wants revenge. Somebody needs to be thrown under the bus about this. How come you guys didn't tell me? How come you didn't do damage control? People are laughing at me like I'm the idiot with a fish in my cup. I basically, it makes him look like a fool. And it insults I saw TikTok on this. For some reason, with boomers, calling them chicken is like the instant response. It's like, I'm not chicken, you're chicken. I'll show you. And it's just like cowardice.
Well, that's what chicken means.
Yeah, I know. It's cowardice, but it's like a mocking, belittling sense. And he doesn't have a defense for it.
Yeah, it's better than weird.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Weird was good, but taco is even better.
Yeah, taco it's completely stuck. So I got the same card. I got similar cards. So I start the primary signifier is the Four of Swords. Not happy about what this. It's like they was like, you guys are sleeping on the job here. Why didn't someone tell me this? Now he's got this huge burden because he put gasoline on it instead of just chuckling and saying, oh, ha ha ha, and trying to dismiss it.
Yes.
He decided he needed to double down because that's what he does. And this thing has got a whole new life, and it's a big burden for him. He tried to explain away by, this is how I negotiate. This is actually a good thing. but the other two clarifiers are. But now he's looking out down the road, and as Dave said, I think he may be looking to exact a little retribution and get some people on the outside that used to be on the inside.
And not only that, if you were another nation, you've seen the World Trade Court say, hey, you can't do this, that's illegal. And the U.S. financial people are saying Trump always chickens out. What's your motivation to try and cut some deal when he's mocked by the financial people and the court says you can't do it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think I'm going to bend over backwards and throw a bunch of bribes your way. I could just wait you out. The courts will do it for me.
Exactly. I start off with the Ace of Cups. Oh, yeah. This is not good. This really, really irked him on a lot of levels because he is the King of Pentacles. He's the man with the money. How dare you? How dare you make those accusations about me? I'm not chicken. He's going to try to see how he can spin it, how he can make it into something good. None of it is going to make any sense because it doesn't make any sense, right? I'm negotiating. You always start off high and come down. No, I think this is really weighing on him, and it is. It bothers him. And I think you're right, David. He doesn't know what to do with it. He's not.
He really doesn't. And the other thing is, you think about it, how easy it for crowds to start chanting taco, 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 taco. You got people all saying taco, taco, taco. It's easy to chant two distinct syllables that end in different sounds, and he knows exactly what you're saying.
Yes.
You can't pretend it's anything other than that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
As they're mentioning in the comment section, they changed the lyrics to Macho Man by the Village People. Taco Man.
It's one of his great theme songs.
Yes. And he's dancing in that video.
Yeah. Yes. Well, yeah, exactly. They put the little tacos in his hands.
Yes. Yeah.
And then they put Taco Bell, and they gave her a little cross made of tacos. Taco Bell tacos.
Yes.
Michelle went to Chipotle, and I asked her to get tacos. She got me a burrito bowl instead. It's like, because Gary and I were joking. It's like, hey, for Marina's, we should go to like Taco Bell and get some tacos and eat them on camera.
Hey, I had tacos last night. So, yes.
And you can also picture people wearing chicken outfits with Donald's little hair, that little pompadour hair thing he's got going on, and he knows exactly what that's going to be. And when it's mocking, I'm hoping that there's going to be some taco balloons, like Mylar taco balloons out there.
Yes.
Well, now you've got a different float for the parade. You don't have to just have the crying baby diaper on. Now you can have a big taco, right?
Which is iconic, by the way. The iconic. Now I need to look up taco balloons.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they're out there.
And thank you, Rose Blue. That's very kind. Yeah. I posted or shared a video on my channel of a group that were singing about Trump. Excuse me, and how he always chickens out. Oh, excuse me. Oh, give me a sec.
Ah.
Bless you.
Let's see if that'll show through there. You can see something of a taco on that. Taco. Yeah, that's a taco balloon. And then they also have like how about a taco party? There's all sorts of balloons out there that are easily purchased. Bring it to your favorite protest. Bring a dozen with you and give 10 of them away. So everybody's got a taco balloon.
Someone was saying that tacos were taken off of the menu at Mar-a-Lago. Now, I can't honestly say I've ever seen a menu at Mar-a-Lago, and I don't know if they would offer tacos, but it's kind of funny if it's true.
Absolutely. And the reason that I mentioned the video that I shared was because it's the girls that are doing the video, behind them are people with all kinds of Trump and taco balloons and chicken balloons that you know are Trump with the hair and so on. That alone was worth watching because it was hilarious. Yeah. And it was, Trump always chickens out. So anyway, as I catch my breath. Now, how about Miss Taco Bell?
Oh,
how's she feeling about that the new moniker? Is she seeing the humor behind it?
I was confused if it was going to be Caroline Levitt or if it was going to be JD Vance being Taco Bell.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if they're jealous. I wonder if JD Vance is jealous that he's not being recognized.
Oh, could be.
I want a cute nickname too.
Yeah, and Couchman just doesn't do it. Wow.
Okay. I start with the Knight of Wands. Something needs to be done. Action needs to be taken about this. We shouldn't have to defend Trump's, basically they're mad that they have to defend this.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got the Sun card. The truth is shining on it because the reason why it's gained so much traction is because everyone can see it.
Yes.
It's hard to deny it because you see it. That their truth is that it's a negotiating tactic. Our truth is he's a BSer, and this is just him blowing smoke and people calling him out. So it's, both sides have their truth, but the fact that Trump feels he has to explain his truth is, it's not good for him. It takes away his power, if you will. And frankly, it's the Seven of Pentacles. You're reaping what you're sowing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, she does not like this. And no. Someone said that, she kind of does whatever the money men tell her to do because
exactly. She's just a mouthpiece for him.
Yeah. There isn't anything of substance to her. She does not like the fact that this has drawn attention to her. I think that she's
is that the Knight of Wands too?
No. This is the Six of Wands.
Oh, it's a victory card.
Yeah, the victory card, but I don't see it as the victory card. I see it as you're putting attention on me, and I have other more important things to do than to kind of be a mean. She is. Well, I mean, it's no surprise. She is very, very, very immature. I get both the Page of Swords and the Page of Cups, and it feels like very, very immature energy that she just doesn't realize the effect that this is going to have on her. Because under the deck, I've got the Wheel of Fortune. This is not good. And like your Seven of Pentacles, I get the Seven of Pentacles too. So she's she doesn't like it. She doesn't like it. But you know what? If hubby buys her a brand new Louis Vuitton purse, she'll get over it.
I don't, okay. I got the Eight of Coins is the foundation of my reading, with the King of Swords underneath it. I was thinking about this for a second, and I really do. Well, this could be tariffs, but I think this is damage control. You got damage control on the reputation, but I think it's also tariffs because center underneath it is the Queen of Wands, and I don't think this is Caroline Levitt. I don't think it's Taco Bell. I think this is actually Susie Wild or something like that. This card keeps coming up, and it might become my Susie Wild card. There's a woman who says you need to take action. We can either be quiet about it or we have to make a decision here. We need to do a change of something. And that something is you're going to have to get tough. Get tough with the first guy. Get tough with the second guy. Now get tough with both guys.
Uh-huh.
In other words, if you don't want people calling you a chicken, stop flip-flopping on your decisions. Make up your mind and stick to it. You know, keep your mouth shut when it comes to negotiations. You want some advice? I'll give you some free advice.
Yes.
You know, you're negotiating things. Listen to a woman for a change. Shut the hell up. Stop waffling. Act like a man. And then Susie Wild how to act like a man. And then he can go, yes, dear, I'm so sorry, dear. I had no idea, dear. You're right, dear. I need to be a man.
Why are you being so mean? You're such a nasty woman.
Yeah, this is a nasty woman. God, he can't handle it. And the fact that it was a woman that told him about it, too, and repeated it and corrected him when he was wrong. Oh, that's a nasty question. It wasn't a question. Well, it was. Just because you didn't know about it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Hey, not my job to fill you in. That's why you've got all these wonderful people there. So, okay. Next, let's take a look at Ukraine and Russia. How happy are we with Ukraine right now?
I was in such a good mood doing that video.
Oh, I thought it was perfection. Perfection.
Yes. That is just amazing.
Yes. Yes. And today, they severely damaged. I don't know if they took it out, the Kerch Bridge, but they severely damaged it. And that bridge only went up after Russia invaded Crimea.
Yeah.
So, and it's kind of like the one of the main points in order to be able to go from one area to another. So that not being able to be used means that a lot of the equipment and supplies and whatnot that need to get into Crimea, into Crimea aren't going to get there.
They have to take a more circuitous route, and that route's close to the front lines, which means drones and HIMARS strikes are very much a possibility.
Yes, I have a feeling, and this is what I'd like us to kind of take a look at. This feels like the beginning of several secret missions that have been in place for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Zelensky was biding his time, and he is. Now we're going to start seeing a ratcheting up of things happening. So that's my sense. What do your cards think?
So I was reading on how does Putin think about this, because they're in talks with Ukraine. Russia's basically, their negotiating point is these are your terms of surrender, Ukraine. This is they're basically not negotiating in good faith. They're just telling them to quit and give up.
Exactly.
Okay, and I want to know how Putin was feeling, because not only did you have the drones damage like over 40 bombers and other aircraft, but now you've got the bridge that got attacked again, and the bridge has been disabled. So how is Putin feeling about this? So the foundation was the Empress, which is perfect. If we're talking about Russia, this is the card you want to see, right? So the foundation is Russia, and the Hierophant is the primary. He is worried about his control over Russia. They have been spinning the narrative that they're winning this war. His generals are telling him that he's winning. He's spinning it. But here's a very clear case that his legacy is now in trouble, and he doesn't like the situation he's finding in because it's a completely different narrative than what they've been sharing with people. And what he's finding is that he is not in the church of right. He's out in the cold. Yes. He has been lied to. He has been manipulated. And this could also be the Russian citizens are realizing that they're the ones that are suffering while all the oligarchs are doing okay.
And how much money is going to be spent replacing stuff that can't be replaced?
Exactly.
And where are you going to get that money from?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You go Boris and Marina. Guess what? You're paying more money.
Exactly.
Sorry, your taxes are going up. You've got.
Yeah, I just think that the citizens are going to be pissed off. I'm going to do a little bit of a Libby here because we rushed into this thing half baked, and we rushed into half baked. The truth is coming out, and we're not happy about what we're seeing, and maybe we need to take bold actions here because we have been being fed the truth and put an end to this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is not information that he wants the general public to hear about because they're going to be livid. No. It's like you say we're winning this. How did they do this? How did they destroy so many aircraft and damage so many more aircraft on this?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just
and had their headquarters so close to the Russian. This was something that was they said it was 18 months in the planning. It is entirely possible that Biden knew about this and probably said to Zelensky, I heard nothing, I know nothing, you hear nothing, you know nothing, don't say anything. Because you know what Trump would have done with that information.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, keeping it from Trump was a excellent move. Today, also, unfortunately, the commander of the Air Force fell out a window. I know.
I heard.
Oh, my.
Yes, those Russian commanders, they're so clumsy when they get near those 10-story windows.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And there isn't anyone capable of training Russian personnel how to properly install windows.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, as the head of the Air Force, you think he'd know how to fly, right?
You'd think.
I'm sure he was certified.
I guess he probably flew okay. Just the landing is the
landing. Yeah,
he stuck the landing.
Yeah, he stuck it all right.
And again, just for reminding Gary's humor, get on the bloody table, arms out, flat fire, no bloody good.
Yes.
E-My-TV needs to fly an aeroplane.
Yes.
I was asking how the Russian people were feeling about it, but I get more of a Ukraine vibe on this. Foundation reading is the Justice card. This is kind of what you get. Ukraine attacks military targets. Russia has been using their strategic bombers that launch cruise missiles and stuff like that to launch cruise missiles and glide bombs into civilian infrastructure. What does Ukraine do? They come up with an elegant plan that is bold and outrageous and just damages or destroys 40 aircraft that are causing that damage. The justice of that is beautiful, and it's kind of like we're not giving up anytime soon. And it kind of also sends the message that you're losing. Foundation of the reading is Queen of Wands, my Ukraine card. Justice by Ukraine. We're going to keep fighting because we have the advantage, and just you wait. Because now you've got to think that Russia's like, oh crap, what else are they going to do? Because they hit 5 different regions or 5 different either airports or submarine bays with stuff like this. Now they had a underwater explosion at the Kerch Bridge. Russia's going to have to up their intelligence domestically to kind of start looking for stuff domestically, which means that that's money, time, and energy not spent looking at other things.
Exactly.
You can imagine they'll be setting up checkpoints and things like that, which is going to slow travel down. They're going to want to inspect all these trucks to make sure they're not containing, several dozen drones with the high explosives on them and things like that.
Yes, and this is going to require additional manpower, which means you're going to have to take them from the front lines and get them to do that kind of admin thing where you're checking and so on. Well, if they're not on the front lines, that gives Ukraine the opportunity to move into areas where they're kind of, we're at a tipping point. It gives Ukraine that opportunity. So I got the 6 of Cups. I think this is some of the commanders, some of the people saying, "Oh shit." Okay, whose idea was it to start this? Who started this? They are more and more, they're seeing that it's not Ukraine that's going to walk away from this. It's going to be them, right? There's, sorry, I don't know what all of a sudden with my throat. They are looking to put together plans with the 3 of Pentacles. No, sorry. No, it is. It's 3 of, working with probably asking maybe North Korea, China, and someone else to, can you help us out with this? We need to replace these planes. They don't necessarily have access to the funds to pay for those planes, and they can't build them fast enough.
A lot of those airplanes are no longer being produced either. So
yes.
They can't be. They cannot be replaced.
Yeah, there's no spare. There's not going to be many spare parts. You can't, cannibalize things, and what they have left, they have to use.
Yes.
So it's going to break down that much more quickly. You consider that again, the damage to the Kerch Bridge is going to slow down supplies, and supplies there'll be less supplies. They'll take longer to get there. Ukraine's been blowing up ammo depots and stuff like that. It's almost like the Russian summer offensive is going to be it's not going to be a tsunami. It's going to be a little ankle wave because they're just not going to have the logistical support to help push that forward.
Yes.
That's their whole tactic right there.
Yeah. So as Mark Brisbois said, who's holding all the cards now, Taco?
Yeah. Apparently Zelensky had some cards that Trump didn't know about. And there's probably a reason why the U.S. didn't know about it.
Yeah.
If the U.S. knew about it, Russia would know about it too.
Right.
Exactly. So it does feel like we're just going to hear more frequently about equipment being destroyed, roads being bombed, and so on. It just feels like this is going to it's going to push Putin over the edge. Because he's not going to be able to live out his dream of unifying Mother Russia and putting it back together the way that he sees it. And he's pretty, oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? He's terrified of the people around him because he knows that at any moment they can take him out, right?
Yeah.
So this is paranoid. That's the word. He is going to be more and more paranoid. So I think that once he gets to that point, he's going to start making mistakes. So it could very well be a the downfall of him. I think he's not paying attention, right? And that's how you how do you get a narcissist to make a mistake?
Calm taco.
Yeah. So I thought the other thing that we could take a look at is the Polish election.
When is the Polish election?
It just was.
Okay.
They elected a far right.
Yes.
Was it president?
Let me see. Yeah, I think yes. So in the end, it was between Rafał Trzaskowski and Karol Nawrocki. Karol Nawrocki was the guy who is far right Trump supporter. He was inciting Polish people against the Ukrainian refugees, just a prince of a man. And now the Trzaskowski is very much pro-EU and, working together and Poland taking a good step forward. The way that their particular form of government is unitary semi-presidential representative democratic republic.
That's a mouthful.
Right? Can you say that slowly? So they have a president who is the head of state, and then they have a prime minister who is the head of government. In this case, the head of government is from the same party that Trzaskowski was running for. And with this Nawrocki now being elected president, whatever the government wants to do, he can now veto it.
Right.
He is the commander of the armed forces, and he has veto power over parliament. So it's almost like a stalemate.
Right.
His victory wasn't like a blowout. It was very, very, very tight.
Yeah, it was like a 1%, less than 2 percentage points total.
Yes. Yeah. So I thought we might take a look at and see, is there going to be a recount?
Oh.
Is there going to be again, the math just doesn't math because Trzaskowski had a lot more support going in, and Nawrocki just took in a lot of cash. And Mark Brisbois says that yes, Poland paid for Ukraine Starlink. I don't know if they have Starlink. It just doesn't smell right. So is there going to be a recount?
Potentially. I get a Knight of Swords charging forward quickly with the Hermit card underneath. I think, to me, I want to say yes on that. You got the 6 of coins. Let's just we should check on things. Like, it's almost like they're doing a superficial check.
Yes.
We've got the Page of Wands and the King of Pentacles on either side of that, probably because Elon was involving himself in that. Or it could be that wealthy people will try and put the kibosh on, I should say, whatever oligarchs are in Poland, whatever type of political control they have, I don't know what their political leanings are, they will probably put pressure on whatever they want the outcome to be. But I think there's going to be talk about action about looking into the election. Now, if this could be Polish oligarchs, this could be Elon Musk doing that. I think they will at least look.
Yes.
And see if that, what do they call that? The Russian tail. There's a plot scatter of votes and stuff, and it has a very distinct look to it when there's a vote manipulation going on.
Could be. So I start off with the world. Everybody's watching, right? People are more and more aware of the things to look for, right? So also I get Temperance, two major arcana cards here. That there's the quote unquote losing side is saying, okay, hold on, before we react and do the knee-jerk thing, let's take a look and see what's here. They are operating from a place of strength, another major arcana. And I think what they're going to discover is that the victory that Naraki is claiming wasn't really a victory. So I do think that there is going to be a recount, and I imagine that he is going to be vigorously against a recount.
Yeah, so I asked a question, was there fraud? And I'm getting kind of similar cards as you. They're going to sit back right now and they're observing on what just went down. They're going to assess, okay, do we need to look at this and do an investigation? And this is moving to calmer shores. It really depends if the people are demanding it, I guess, is my feeling. We've got to make sure that our elections seem legitimate. Something doesn't look quite right with this. And, is this a victory or a false victory?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's possible, but it's going to require the populace to demand it.
Yes. Yeah.
That's my gut feeling.
Yeah. Given that when they had the elections for prime minister, it was Donald Tusk who got in, and he is the same party as that Terzakowski, which is pro-EU, looking to help Ukraine and so on and so forth. He was on the trajectory to win this. So the fact that this guy came up from behind to kind of win it, it doesn't sit right.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell right. So it is entirely possible that people changed their mind and decided that they were going to go, along with the Naraki and be very protective of Poland, but it goes against everything that they have done up until now. So that was a little weird.
Yep.
That was a little weird. So, well, we are almost at the top of the hour, and I really didn't have a whole lot of anything else. So anything that you guys want to read? Oh, wait. Before we go, I did have, hold on. Rose Blue wanted to know, Corporate clients are leaving law firms that bent the knee to Orangina. How bad will it get for the law firms? How will it get? Okay. I'm going to take out the predictions deck and see what it has to say.
There you go.
Yeah. How bad will it get for the law firms? Ooh. People are recognizing. Do you have that deck too?
No.
Oh.
No, I have Oracle cards that I never ever use. But I thought I'd pull an Oracle card and see what we get that would be more interesting than what the tarot is going to show.
Tarot. Yeah. People are they're paying attention to the lies and deception that is being told to them as clients, and that their best interests are not being looked after, and they're looking for a rulership handover. They're willing to let their money talk and take their business elsewhere. So how bad will it get? I think it's going to get pretty bad.
Yeah, just my clarifier is the Queen of Swords. You made this decision. This is what you did.
Yeah.
And the primary clarifier was the Five of Wands. You know, you basically bought into the chaos by bedding the knee.
You made your bed.
Yep.
Literally, you made your bed. Okay, what am I going to pull up here? I'm going to pull. Oh, geez, wait, I need the book for it. I thought it would actually have little things on this one. So this is the Aquamarine number 4 card. Lord knows what that means.
That's not obvious to you what that means?
Yeah. Duh, makes sense to us, right there.
Let's see. Oh, wait, that's an Italian. Let's find the English.
Totalmente.
Okay. The message: we are living in a moment where we want and need to be alone. We do not experience the solitude as isolation, but opposite. These moments are precious for our inner equilibrium. Aquamarine is a stone of harmony and peace and gives us the states of profound well-being and self-sufficiency. So, what will happen? I think there's going to be periods of peace and self-reflection for the law firms that bent their knee to Donald Trump. I think that's how I would translate that in the nicest way possible. I don't think they're going to be busy with new clients, is what that's saying.
Kind of a Four of Swords moment there.
Yeah, maybe you need to, it's kind of like Mom saying, maybe you need to go into your bedroom and reflect on what you were doing.
Yes.
We'll discuss this later.
Yes. Now, and lastly here, Amber, Rhapsody in Rainbow said, news is finally starting to come out that the databases DOGE have are being used to build a consolidated AI-driven system. I've suspected for months that this was their true objective. And
that falls right underneath the Trump versus the tech bros. This is exactly what the tech bros want. They want all the data and build up with AI to predict patterns, look at patterns and predict how things will be going.
Yeah, these are they're very much airborne toxins, things that that are in the ether, AI generated. And it's funny you say that, Amber, because I said not too long ago, like within the last week or so, that the amount of stuff that that Elon Musk has stolen from the government in terms of information, entertainment purposes only, is mind-boggling, and there's an awful lot that he can do with that information.
I pulled one card. I got the Knight of Swords, recklessly charging forward with this. I think that they don't understand the consequences, fully understand the consequences of what they're doing. There's probably going to be unintended consequences. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be dire. We tend to think of, when you have all this information in one spot, what could possibly go wrong, except hackers now have everything. You know what I mean? So that would be extremely dire and reckless. But it could also be that they get this in there, and then all of a sudden there's some change that totally undermines them or outs them, or something that happens that just castrates their power that they never saw happening. I don't know what that would be. I can't vision the positive. I can only vision the doom and gloom. But it could be a very positive thing. They just don't realize it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've got
Or is it their intention?
I've got a similar card. I pulled the Nine of Swords. It's definitely creating a lot of anxiety.
Yes.
But the next card I had was the Celebration, the Three of Cups. So my first reaction is they're creating a lot of anxiety, but they're clueless to it. They're happy that they got the information. But to Dave's point, there could be something that comes from this that is going to cause people to realize that, yes.
I have a question. No, go ahead and finish your thought. I have a question.
That, like Dave said, it could expose them or expose the folks that did this and give us an opportunity to change.
Right. Now, I just want you to throw out there, who do you think cheats on their taxes the most to the biggest dollar amount? Now you've got all that information in one database that you can trace with a bunch of other stuff, and probably, the IRS gets a hold of this. Now, first off, the Second Amendmenters and the militia guys, they're going to go bananas. The ultra-right rural people are going to go crazy because this is huge government overreach and it's Big Brother, and this is, the thing they've been worried about the most. But then it's also, okay, now you imagine turning Sheldon Whitehouse, Katie Porter, and some others with this database.
Yes.
Or Jasmine Crockett. Okay, let's do this. Let's look for these patterns. It's like, wow, look where all this money's going. Then all of a sudden, you're going to overseas accounts and you're networking and you're making all those connections, and all this hidden money is discovered. And who's been hiding it? Who's been cheating on their taxes? And then you rein those MFers in. This could be amazing, but it's not intended to be amazing on the short term. It just could bite them in the butt.
I like that. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, perfect. All right. Well, folks, thank you so much for being here with us. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I've got David and Gary's links in the description of the video. And you guys, David, Gary, thank you so much for doing this with me.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yay. And we'll see you 2 weeks' time. We'll see you on the 17th of June. And we'll have birthday parties to discuss the birthday of the U.S. military. Yes.
I guess the Pope is giving a speech on that same day in the United States or something.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
All sorts of stuff
in English. Because do you think he speaks English?
I think there's a distinct possibility.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. We will see you later, and bye, guys. Bye, kitty cat.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.